Welcome to Vlog Thursday 419. We're one version away from an internet funny number. Welcome. I am at COD Mash 2025. This is a short vlog to keep in the consistency of that I keep vlogging. But I do have some exciting news. And for those of you that actually poke your heads in my forums, I realized I made the list public, even though the video is not public. So you can actually see the list of pfSense versus UniFi in my forums for those of you that want to go poking around in there. But the video should be published, I don't know, whenever Matt nods his head in the background. So waiting on, there we go. We're just waiting on, he's got it. Yeah. He's got to nod his head this way, not shake his head. That's yeah. All right. Mass confusion here. The video I've been working on is a series of videos that are going to probably bother some people. I don't know. It's me being favorable to UniFi. It seems to bother people that I say they improved because they want to argue with me and say, no, they haven't. But I guess that's part of the problem is fixing the misinformation. So I don't complain about UniFi firewalls and say they suck because I just want people to rally with me on saying something sucks. I want them to fix them. And that was my intention because obviously it's nice to have a firewall and switching and access points in a single control plane as an ecosystem for management. And we could never really do that because the shortcomings constantly I was finding with UniFi. Well, version 9 changed a lot of that. And so, yeah, there's some favorable videos coming out of how to do things in UniFi, why it works well. And that whole video of pfSense versus UniFi, because I've been such a pfSense advocate. And it's just one of those things, like, yes, we are using more of them. And I have a friend doing a test that may turn into a video. He's migrating a pretty large site-to-site setup with pfSense over to UniFi. So we'll be doing some videos on that because we're seeing how it goes. We're going to be testing things under load in real world situations, not just lab. And I do a lot of consulting with UniFi, so I've seen them very capable, but it was always like painful to get things set up. It's missing things type of scenarios. Now they've finally got so much of it working right. And I'm like, wow, this is what we wanted. Version 9 has those features in there. And I've been testing version 9 since it was alpha, not just beta. I got in the alpha release of it. So I speak from actually doing some uses with it and communicating those problems back to Ubiquity in order to get to the better security and not only better security, functional security. There's never really been a big security problem with them. They've just been lacking in features. I have clients that need this and this. Well, don't do it. Well, now what? So yeah, that's part of what I talk about in the UniFi versus pfSense. Now, there's still going to be a lot of scenarios where pfSense just is going to be the right solution, or even another firewall, because there's sometimes people say, well, I need these features. So I'm like, well, that's not going to cover with either of these. So here's a solution for you. Most of the choices we make in product are driven by what fits the client. There's a lot of people, though, that throw things in there like, well, it doesn't support this. I'm like, but do you need that? Most people don't. So if you have those unusual esoteric needs, sometimes none of them fit. But I'm pretty happy where UniFi is. I think they're doing a good job with everything. And it's not me. People saying I'm going soft now. I'm like, no, they didn't have logging. They didn't have packet capture. They didn't have proper VPN setups. Hey, look, logging, packet capture, VPN setups. The only thing I still complain a little bit, and it's not a huge deal, but I think they could use some slightly better tooling in the web UI for troubleshooting. But they do give you SSH access, so that helps quite a bit. Do you think they're wanting to be the next gen firewall for the SMB? Oh, hugely. And I think they're accomplishing it very much so. If you look at the way the SMB market's going right now, I would say they're going to come out very much on top. I've seen Meraki over time. I realized my Meraki information was a bit dated. Meraki keeps lowering the license fees. So that's pretty much, in my opinion, obviously they're not, well, it's said internally, but it's not said externally. I know from talking to people, Meraki is reacting. Cisco, who owns Meraki, is reacting to the fact that they're, oh crap, people aren't using us as much. They're they're still making money. It's not like Meraki's going away, but there's becoming a huge exodus of people going, these license fees are quite a bit. We've moved some pretty massive amounts of people off of Meraki. We've done entire school districts. We've done lots of businesses. Some of them I've talked about publicly, like the chemical factory. I mean, these are large scale projects that some of them used to be Meraki and now they're all UniFi. And I see this as a pretty much a big win because you get the centralized management. We have compliance boxes we can check now with version 9 because you can do the security monitoring. You can ingest your data into a SIM. So yeah, those are the check boxes you need for a lot of these small and mid-market companies. And that's pretty cool. And with Fortinet being in the news again, as always, here, let me share this. If anyone didn't see this, I was just like, oh man. I'll share this tab real quick because it just made me go cringe of stupid going on in the world of Fortinet. Like they've already got several 0 days. And of course, it seems like despite Fortinet, someone told me, and I don't use Fortinet much. Someone said that there's a warning it gives you that you shouldn't be publicly exposing things like the management interface. But here we are with thousands exposed. But someone just did a dump of tons of exploited Fortinets. So I'm just like, wow. So in case anyone wants them, they're available on the internet now. About 15,000, I think. Config files and everything dumped. And there's more 0 days that just dropped yesterday for Fortinet under active attack. And then to make matters worse, Fortinet security did a poor job of releasing what their indicators are compromised. I want to get back. I might do a video on it because I've done a video on how bad Fortinet security has been. I did that in like 2023. 2024, they didn't do any better. 2025, more problems. And when they dropped what the indicators of compromise are, like some of the watch out for this, they listed Cloudflare DNS. Like you should block Cloudflare DNS. You should block Google DNS. Really, Fortinet? Are you feeling all right there? Did your PR person not bother to, who wrote the blog post not read? I don't know. I always joke that Fortinet's wearing clown shoes, and it's just I see people really unhappy with them, and they've never done a good job with Wi-Fi. So once again, there has been a number of Wi-Fi setups we've replaced with Fortinet Wi-Fi or Fortinet stuff we've replaced with Ubiquity. Man. We've seen UI starting to have paid model for the firewall config. Do you think they ever start licensing package? They don't have a paid model for the firewall config. They don't have licenses, and it's not on the roadmap at all. That's directly from the CEO. They do not plan to charge licensing fees. They don't have them now, and it's completely something they're against is all the recurring licensing fees. So I don't see Fortinet. I don't see UniFi going to a paid license model. Going to swap Meraki with Ubiquity today to see this all the time. Yeah, it's common. People look at that renewal and go, "Why am I renewing it?" And Meraki is offering like discounts for people to try and stay, but it's like, well, you only offering a discount because I'm not renewing. It's it's interesting. I am at the CodeMash conference, and if you don't know what CodeMash is, just check it out at codemash.org. It is a community-driven conference. They have a nice agenda of things I'll be attending because there's, let me look here. What's on this day? So the first 2 days are like really long workshops for coding. Not my thing. Breakfast, I'll be there in a few minutes because I'm only got a few more minutes to this go. But there is a lot of good things in here, but it's codemash.org. If anyone's interested, obviously it's too late to attend this year, but it happens every year. It's just a cool conference. A few people recognize me already, so that's kind of neat. It's a coding conference, so I don't get as recognized as I might at a more general IT or managed service provider conference, but there's a lot of good engineering. Defense in Depth is one that looks pretty interesting. It's more related to secure code, but I always pick up a lot of good information here. Analyzing and critiquing architectures. There's a couple of ones about Home Assistant here that I'm pretty excited as well. Oh, and even talking about playing CTFs, learning how to do capture the flag, even if you're a not security person. So there's a lot of great talks here for those that want to geek out or be interested. So that's my little plug for CodeMash. It's a nonprofit. There's no business behind it. They run on sponsors, donations, and ticket sales to put the event on every year. They're also very transparent. When they hold their talk, like the keynote, if you will, they actually disclose how much it costs to run the conference each year, and they're like 100% transparency, so people get a good idea. I think it's pretty cool. Like I said, pretty neat group of people. I like nerding out, and this is definitely the crowd to nerd out with. I have a question. Is it possible to have a network of, say, 50 access points share the same SSD using UniFi, but each having their own VLAN? Yeah, there's probably, I don't know, that's a weird use case. I think you're probably trying to solve something the wrong way. So you should probably post in the forums, because there are ways you can set up like the UID and set up isolation to groups. There's different ways to solve that problem. That's my guess, is that you're trying to solve the problem the wrong way. Their subscription service for cybersecure is for Proofpoint. That is a extra threat intelligence feed. It's not a it's not a subscription for the UniFi service, and it's not required. It's required for compliance, for people who go, hey, I need a threat intelligence feed as part of something my insurance company says I have to have, or I can't have the firewall. So you have that. That's not the same anyway, as I know people are conflating it. It's everyone's favorite hot take, is that some UniFi moving to a subscription model. The firewall works without it. It's just if people need it, and that costs money. UniFi put the word Proofpoint in there to let you know the money's going to Proofpoint. And this is the word I was looking for, PPSK. So there's ways you can set it up. PPSK is what you were, the word I was looking for. It's early. I got a little more coffee left to drink, and I need some breakfast. But there's better ways to solve that than trying to engineer a VLAN on every single device. But this is where I'm going to end the blog, is I'm going to go get some breakfast, and then I'm going to start attending some fun things and events, do some learning, interact with some people. But I will probably do a live stream this working. All right. I will probably do a live stream on the weekend, though, because I have some other things I want to share. But look for that other video. It's going to be published for kind of a big update. It does only, I think the video is about 20 minutes long, comparing UniFi and pfSense. I could go deeper. That's most things. I figure that's a good cutoff point, because could I make the video 2 hours? Oh yeah, I could walk through every single screen for 2 hours, but I don't think that's what people are looking for. I just nailed down the functionality. I made it in a nice list, and I do show a little bit more than I did in the last time I did a comparison of how the screens look. That way you can go, oh, okay, that's how it looks. That's how the rules look for each device. That's how the servers look for each device. So looking forward to feedback and all that from all of you, and thanks.